Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host, Tracy.
Hey y'all.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I still have a little huskiness to my voice. I'm like, we're going on week 2 now.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah, I've still got a little gravel in my voice.
I don't hear it though. But you know what? Maybe next week when it's gone, I'll be like, damn, what happened to the sexy voice?
Yeah, yeah. And instead of doing like water and lemon, last night I was doing rum punch
Yeah, last night was book club.
with lemon.
Book club. Tracy put out a nice spread she hosted last night and it was very good. Unfortunately, I was the only sucker who did not read or listen to the book last night. I was looking for somebody to be like, "No, I didn't get it." There's always one other person, but the month that I don't read, everybody read the book.
Them
Fuckers.
heifers read that book, and there was so much in the book. The book is Firstborn Girls by Bernice L. McFadden. I'm a fangirl of her work. Professor McFadden. Um, there's so much content in the book. I'm listening to it again. Book club's over, done. We already I should be on to May's book. I'm listening to it again because I want to know what I missed the first time because it is so packed full of historical data that overlaps with her personal memoir, all that good stuff. Anyway, great book. You will read it, and when you do read it, I promise you're gonna love it.
I part of the thing why I didn't get the book is like usually I get my books on Libby or another app where I can download it for this time I was being extremely cheap, but I was being cheap for a good reason.
Okay, talk to
I'm
me.
trying to limit my footprint on Amazon.
Of
So
course.
when I can't get books, and like usually you go to Amazon to get all the books, or it's the libraries. But I'm trying really hard and being intentional about not buying from Amazon. So today I'm going to go to Barnes and Noble and just get the damn book because after the discussion, I'm like, why would I not want that book on my shelf? It sounded really good.
It's a
Um,
book that you can read like over and over and over again, and I feel like you'll pull new stuff out of it. It's one of those.
mhm. And
Definitely
it's a
one of those.
memoir.
It's a memoir, yes.
Yeah.
And it just came out in March. It just came out
That's
a
why it's
month
not in
ago.
the library
That's why
apps.
you're not gonna find it. Yeah. But I I did the little snippet, you can listen to a little bit of the book and I was like, sold. That's my book.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
So
So I'm going to get it. I don't it's when you think about buying books all the time, and I have so many books that I haven't read, but then it's just buy the goddamn book, girl. So I'm gonna buy that book, and I'm buying Donna's new selection, this week. So Barnes and Noble it is. Well, I might try a smaller bookstore. There's a couple
yeah,
of smaller bookstores.
Donna's book is When God Saw Me as Black. I think that's
Yeah,
the
when
name of
God
it.
first saw me as black, or and I was so
Yes. Oh
I
my
found
God.
that
So
interesting.
that's about faith and the intersection of race. I'm
I
very
feel
excited to read
yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So interesting. But other than book club, we had a very interesting week. There was a lot going on. We did quite a few events, but the one of the most important ones is that the Motif Awards was this week. And your co-host, what? Your co-host, what? Your co-host, what? We won for the second year in a row.
See that? I don't know if y'all can see that. There we go. There we go. So
And
yes, bring her twin out. Please bring
where's
her twin out.
where is her twin? Oh, here she
Uh-oh.
comes. I was like, I'm about ready. I'd be ready to be so quick to blame things on my
To
grandkids.
blame the people. To blame the people in the house. So we now have two
One for each of our
2024
homes.
and
Mm-hmm.
2025, exactly, a matching set. So,
Put it right
I
next to
mean,
our.
it's so favorite local podcast, Motif Magazine. So I think the word you used when we had our post interview was, what was the word that you used?
Oh, validating.
Validated.
Mhm.
Validated. I was
Mhm.
trying to pull the word from my brain, but it was the
Mhm.
perfect word because last year we got the award. We were still in our infancy of the
Yeah,
podcast, and
only months old then.
the imposter syndrome was real for me. I was just like, I don't even know how. Number one, I didn't know how we got even on the ballot. That was number one. Because trust me, if it was like a thing where they were like, oh, sign yourself up, I would have signed us up,
Yes, of
but I
course.
didn't. So
Nope.
the fact that we got on the ballot, the
And you
fact that we,
can't. You
right.
can't do that. You can't sign up yourself.
So that's, one thing. The fact that it was an honor, literally an honor to be nominated. Like I understand that sentiment now to win last year and to bring it back. And we owe this to our supporters, our listeners, our followers, because it's a voting system. So all the people who took a second to go to the Survey Monkey, which was not easy to navigate for some people because it's like put in your email
Yeah,
address.
it was a
Our
lot.
and we were the very last category at the bottom of the ballot, and y'all did this for us. So this is your award too. Thank you.
Very appreciative, very honored. I said it last year. I love Motif. I grab that once a
Hmm.
week, paper all the time. I'm downtown, so they're all over. So I always grab it and read it. And to me, they're very, informational info stuff for, the local news. So it's always good to go and support, and then for them to support us, I just feel validated. Thank you very much.
And we were surrounded by greatness because our friends I feel like we're part of the spoken community now. I'm like, I feel that validated applies to not only being validated and winning, but
Hmm.
also being part of this community. So all these amazing spoken artists that I've come to know and love. I mean, we've got Simply Sarah, her son, Julius Moore, who is like a fire
I am
brand.
so
Like
disappointed I missed that.
this young man is so deep. First of all,
Mm,
he's a fashion model. He's just a walking fashion model, effortlessly, flawlessly stylish. But then on top of that, he's a singer. He's a spoken word artist. He's a poet. And he's a kid, he's a young kid, but he was born to the right mama. That's all I have
yeah.
to say. And she birthed the right child. And she
Hmm.
has another son too, also very talented. But Julius is like he's out there performing.
Hmm.
He performed at Motif. He won an award as well. Lisa Costa, our friend and former interviewee, also won, of course. Rudacious Rudy Roo also won. I think he was double fisting it. Didn't he get two awards this year?
He had three. He was
Oh my
no,
God.
we saw him with two, but then he was nominated for a third one as well. I don't
I
know if
think
he
he
won
got
the
the
third
right
one.
in. I think he might have got the right in for that one, but he
Okay.
definitely had a minimum of two when we saw him.
I was
Our
like,
buddy,
show off.
our buddy Amaziah the Great was in the house. He recorded our acceptance speeches, which was very thoughtful and kind of him. Chris Bell, another great spoken artist, was there. Black Sav, a
Hilarious.
hilarious comic that we hope to get on the show sometime in the near future. So many people, and I know
Mhm.
I'm leaving folks out. I'm sorry, y'all, but our Charlene, our one of our other favorite Cape Verdean poets was in the house. Um, there were just so many people there. I was ready to turn up until they turned the lights off. Shahida was ready to go to bed, and so was Rel.
Oh, you really want to call us out like that? You could have just left it at that, but no, you really try. Yeah,
I
because
was
I've been
ready to
working
turn up.
hard this week. I was tired. I
It
was
was
tired.
a Tuesday night. In your defense, it was a Tuesday
It
night.
was. It was, and I was definitely tired. Anyway,
Listen, I had to throw Rel in the on the bus too.
yeah, you did. You did both of us. You did both of us. But that's okay. So what else? Oh, what else has happened? What else did we do? Oh,
We did
I'm not
two
gonna
things
say.
this week.
I'm not gonna say what we did because I don't have that nice Spanish tongue to say the play that we went to. I will say the old dirty English version, The Tempest, but that's not what it's called at Trinity Rep. What is it?
So it was a bilingual production of The
Mhm.
Tempest, but it was given a little extra flavor and they named it La Tempesta.
It was. What did you think of the play?
So I had not read The Tempest nor seen
Yeah.
any productions of The Tempest before. I had
Oh
no
no,
idea
really?
what to expect. No. And
Mhm.
so I was concerned that even though I understand Spanish and
Mhm.
English, of course, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to keep up because it's Shakespeare after all.
Mhm.
I was pleasantly surprised that not only was I able to keep up in English and Spanish, I was able to
Mhm.
follow the storyline, enjoy it. I was cracking up, to be honest with you. Like I was over
Mhm.
there chuckling because there were so many great moments and they folded in some wonderful modern cultural little Easter eggs, I like to call them in there too.
Mhm.
So I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah. I was surprised that Rudy was saying that they got a lot of pushback. The
Oh,
first
I'm not.
act, yeah, it was because I thought, okay, let me go to my opinion. The first act, it was jarring, adjusting to Old
Yes.
English and Spanish, and it would run together where I didn't know where the Old English stopped and the Spanish started.
Yeah.
It was hard to adjust to it. And then, believe it or not, there were subtitles up over the screen. And oh, I should have showed you what the floor looked like. But this by the second act, I had adjusted, and of course, the second act has a lot more of the action too, and
Yeah.
it was a little bit more comedic than the first. The first is just kind of like setting up the story, and the second was, the ending where all the drama comes to a head. So, but it was an experience, and I would definitely do it again, see something like that. And
Mm.
it gave the audience an opportunity, especially if because I'm trying to learn Spanish. I know I'm never going to be fluent in it, but I can when I read it, I know how to interpret it into English for myself. But
Mm.
also listening to it and trying to figure out certain words, it was just an experience, especially young people. If you are trying to be bilingual or trying to teach your child like Spanish, it's an experience for them. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was very funny, like you did. I love the fact that it was subtitles over the stage and like in on the end of the stage as well. It was very good, and I can't see why anybody would have a problem with this reinterpretation of it.
So I will say that what I enjoyed a lot about it is that the actors, some of them were native Spanish speakers, but there were a few I could pinpoint were not native Spanish speakers and either
Mhm,
learned Spanish for the role or
mhm,
learned Spanish as a second language at some point in their lives. And I
mhm,
was so impressed with
mhm,
their dialogue, their pronunciation, because they didn't just let them off the hook and say, well, you're American or, whatever, your first tongue is not Spanish, so you can just do the English parts. No, both, you had to do
mhm,
both languages, each
mhm,
actor. So which I thought was very impressive. And the passion with which they delivered all
mhm,
of it was just so exciting. The character who played Ariel, I think, was one of the most engaging characters. He
mhm,
had, even though he wasn't a main character per se, he had
mhm.
to do the most work because he was in the majority of the scenes and he was the understudy. And
And he did
forgive me,
an amazing job, as I had no idea he was an understudy.
but I want to go back now because I want to
To
see the
see
guy
what
who's supposed to do it, who's a
Mhm,
break dancer, Rudy said.
mhm,
I definitely need to go back before April 27th, which is the
mhm.
last day. So we got about a week left. I want to see that too, but phenomenal, just
Mhm.
phenomenal. And I do know why people push back on it.
Why? Why?
Racism, because why the hell else you complaining about some shit like this. Like, honestly, it's definitely got to be systematic racism in your brain to make you
Mhm.
complain about the fact that this was. Do you understand what an endeavor it is to translate Shakespearean English into Spanish? That's
Mhm.
crazy because first you have to come out of Shakespearean English to
Mhm.
regular English to Spanish, basically, or there's some long division you have to do to do that translation. Even if they skip over modern English, it's like going from Shakespearean English to Spanish is nuts. And
But
that
I
was
wonder if
something that
people,
Tatiana, the director, did herself. Her and
yeah.
two other people actually took that endeavor on.
But I wonder if these people who are complaining about this new version of how many versions of Shakespeare plays do we see anyway? You
Are
know,
you complaining about Claire Danes in Romeo and Juliet? Probably not. So shut the fuck up. I
and
don't want to
do
hear it.
you understand honestly a Shakespearean play? Because I love Shakespeare, but I was telling you that night, I have only enjoyed it in a group setting because
Mm.
listening to Old English, it's hard to understand totally. I mean, there are a couple that are very easy to understand. The Tempest is not easy to understand unless you had somebody break it down for you at the beginning, and you have something you want to have an idea of what is going on in the play. Because Old English is not easy. I'm just saying it doesn't
When I
flow.
tell
There's
you,
there's no love to that language.
here's what I love about it because
Mhm.
I love a good professional read in the workplace. So
Mhm.
I feel like when I want to cuss somebody out via email at work, I get into my Shakespearean English.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna
Mhm.
tell you in so many words, like per my
Mhm.
last email,
Mhm.
um, although you may have perceived that this
Was
was what
that
happened,
Shakespeare though?
it's it it
Because
it, it it's
Shakespeare is,
akin to it. It's
ugh,
akin to it because there was so many insults. Shakespeare is, first of all, he's the
mhm,
king of shade. He will
mhm,
insult you. His characters will come with the insults. That's why I
mhm,
was cracking up because some of the insults that
mhm,
are hurled in Shakespearean plays are the best.
mhm,
I can't quote them per se. He also always does something super sexual, which I love.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
a little naughty, cheeky, um, little sentence or phrase or
mhm,
something like that. So I love all of those little twists and turns. Shout out to my eighth grade English teacher. I sure don't remember that man's name, but he's the one that got us into reading Shakespeare and
mhm.
understanding that it's fun to read.
It
Like
is.
Shakespeare is
It
so fun.
is. I have
Yeah.
my favorite, which is not a very popular one, is The Taming of the Shrew. That is my favorite
Okay.
Shakespeare play. And then after that, I have to say it is Macbeth. I know everybody says that one, but that just is full of everything.
So for me, Midsummer Night's Dream, Romeo and
Mhm,
Juliet, those are top tier. And my daughter is a huge fan of
mhm.
the Claire Danes Romeo and Juliet movie.
Okay, I've never seen it.
She, oh my gosh, it's a
No, I've
must.
never seen
It's a
it. Okay.
modern adaptation. So that's what I'm saying. Like Shakespeare has been reinterpreted,
So many
rewashed,
times.
and spin so many times. Why would you complain about this? The only
Mhm,
reason I could think people would complain is because they, like you, may have struggled to keep up, but
mhm.
that's kind of the
By the
experience.
second act, you should have caught up and it's easier to understand. And I said that the only reason why I found it difficult is because the old English and the way
Mhm.
that they were spoken flowed into the Spanish. So sometimes I couldn't decipher when
It
they
was
were going from
Spanglish.
to Spanish.
It was Spanglish, yeah, for
Mhm,
sure. But that's part of it because there were times when I struggled too, and I was kind of relying on the captions as well myself, the subtitles, because there were times where I'm like, wait a minute, I missed something here, or I need to go back, or let me just check the subtitles to make sure I'm on the same page as the actors. So it wasn't just like fully immersive, like full understanding, but part of
mhm,
that was like it stretched my imagination, it stretched my brain, it made me think outside of the box. I think that's the beauty of
Yeah.
this production is that it's not lazy work. You can't be on your phone. First of all, they told you to turn your phone off, but you can't be
Well, it's
doing
a
something
play. You're
else.
never ever. I would hope
But
you would
so
not
you
be.
but you know how you can watch Netflix and you can be on your phone and you can be talking to somebody. You have to give your full self to this play. There's no mentally checking out, daydreaming. You got to stay on point and it's what, 2 hours? You got to
Yeah.
stay on point. Okay. But it
It
was
was.
wonderful.
It was really
Trinity
good.
does an amazing, Trinity just always brings
I
the
love their space because it's such an intimate space
intimate.
for theater, and you're just like right there, right on the stage practically with them. I mean, and we always give like, great seats. Shout out to Darius's granddad. Love you, man.
Shout out.
So we always get like really great seats, but it's like right there. It's everything is right there, taking place in front of you, no
And
matter where.
that was a comment that was made to us by our contest winner because we like to give stuff away. We love to give y'all a freebie. So we were able to choose a winner. Shout out to Shamari Woods, who's also part of the spoken community here in Rhode Island. That was the comment that he made. He brought his teenage daughter with him as his plus one, and he was like, "Wow, these are amazing seats."
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. So he got to actually sit next to us. Your two-time award-winning spoken word favorite podcast host, Shamari, got to sit with us, and it was wonderful to meet him and his daughter, and for them to have the experience, and for a teenager to turn around and say they had a good time at a
Yeah.
play. It was good.
Mm-hmm. So this is Shamari because we gotta plug him too.
We have to
I
plug him because he actually has an event coming up on April 27th called Soft Spoken. And there are going to be some amazing spoken artists, including True Queen, who is, she's a protege, basically, an associate of Rudy Rudacious. If you have not heard True Queen do spoken word, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna say you might not have lived. Like she cuts through you with her words in a way that's just like shedding a skin and
Mhm.
becoming a new person when you hear this. What, like, that's how I feel about her. I'm very
Oh
passionate
wow.
about hearing her speak. She's incredible, and I hope I'm not mispronouncing her. I'm gonna say she because she presents to me as she, but and she presents as queen. So I think True Queen is
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
her. But amazing. And then Black Sav is hosting it, so you're going to be laughing. I
Laughing,
mean,
yeah.
it's going to be incredible. And Nellie Nell, shout out to the Short King, also a Motif Award winner. Um, amazing, amazing lineup. So that's going to be really good.
And what's the date again? It's on. Is it on here?
April
Oh, the
27th, and it's
27th.
gonna
Okay.
yeah, and it's gonna be at Needle and Thread, one of our cute favorite little, I don't know if would you consider it a speakeasy here in
No,
Providence? It has
no.
speakeasy vibes
Yeah, it has good
because
vibes.
it's
It
kind
has
of like
old classic.
downstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
cute.
know what? For all I know, it could be speakeasy now because
We
we
just
went.
walked right
I
in,
went
so
the very first time it opened.
yes,
That first month we went, and I haven't
yeah.
been back. So,
I went twice. I
mhm,
met my niece there one night, and
mhm,
what's his name? Our violin guy was playing there.
mhm. Oh, Lux, Big Lux.
Big Lux. I can't remember nothing. Big
Yeah.
Lux. How could I forget? He was playing.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, he turned up that night.
Yeah,
So
he said, "Oh yeah, I wonder what he's up to." I haven't heard his name. I know he ran for
I can't even
office.
cope with him, girl. I tried to book him for my birthday, and I was like, that's not in the budget. But much respect, much love. I'm glad you are getting
Deserves
those
it.
points. Yeah,
Mhm.
he does deserve it.
Yeah.
It was not in the budget. Y'all wouldn't have had
Mhm.
no food if
Yeah.
he performed. So it was food or Big Lux.
Food, please. Food, please. I'll take the food. So yeah, it was a very interesting week for us. But then
Mhm.
also, Rhode Island had a couple of crazy stories this week
Tell me
that
what's going on because you know I don't watch the news.
I don't watch the news either, but this did pop up. And then I looked
Okay.
into it because it just seems so crazy to me. So anyway, so they're in Pawtucket. We'll start with them. What date was that? What
It
date was that?
already sounds like drama because it's Pawtucket, but good, continue.
It, so yeah. Well, you know what? I actually would consider this to be like North Providence news, but it was actually Pawtucket. So on
Okay.
Tuesday last week, the news reported that there were eight firefighters that were being fired due to an internal investigation into some criminal activity. Criminal activity,
Hmm.
right? So they were fired. Four were fired. Four were able to resign and apply for retirement. So the investigation determined that the firefighters had engaged in possible criminal activity that was so so. What did the guy say? He said in all of his years, this is Vincent Ragosta. He's like the attorney, this city attorney. He said, in all of my cases that I've seen, this is the most atrocious in terms of behavior, and he hasn't ever seen anything like this to this extent. But they didn't tell us what these are. Now, if the city attorney is saying this is the most atrocious, most egregious act of criminal activity of these eight firefighters, why are they not telling the public what it is?
Right.
And why is four fired and then the four others, two were able to just retire and then the other two were able to resign?
So, okay, my mind goes one of two directions. The
Hmm.
first one is something maybe with children, maybe bad
That's
things with
what I
kids.
thought of at first.
But the other side of my mind is saying, did you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
No.
Okay. So in Orange is the New Black, Laverne Cox's character was in jail, obviously, because it's a jail show. And the reason that her character went to jail is because she, as a male, when she was before she transitioned, was a male firefighter and would steal from the scenes of the fires. She would steal jewelry or money or whatever because she was trying to get money for her transition
Mm,
surgery. So of course you're in a fire. The whole thing
mhm,
is like, get out of the house, get out of the house. I'm trying to save your
mhm,
life. But if there was a jewelry box open and grandma's pearls were in there or a Rolex, it was going
mhm.
in the pocket. And so that's what the character went to jail for. So I'm wondering if they were stealing from the
Yeah, and then
homes.
another thing he said, actually wrote this down. He said, I haven't seen anything to this degree in this extent, and I might as bold as in terms of the cavalier approach to the criminal activity. So in I'm thinking that they felt that there was something that they could get away with. They did it, without any thought of repercussion. Just very willy-nilly about it. It
Yeah,
did.
but why wouldn't you just say, like, stop, like, don't even put it in. Here's my thing. Don't even report on it if y'all don't have nothing to say. I don't even don't even tell me. Because if you
Well, I
had
mean, the
nothing to
news
say about it,
definitely is going to, they're asking the questions. Well, what are the charges? But at, as far as city transparency, you you cannot call yourself a good mayor or a good city attorney or good anything that works for the public and not give them the information that's needed.
I'm just nosy. What the hell happened? Okay, because it sounds like some good gossip, and I want to hear it.
I
Like
mean
what?
that too, but but I
Right,
feel
I get
like
what you're saying.
in the meantime, like while you're not saying it, let's always remember the city attorney's words, because while they're not saying exactly what they did, are you trying to cover up some stuff and only
And
report
are there
a minor fact?
other people involved? And these are the eight scapegoats.
And then also, why were four of them able to resign, and then two are what? Are they going to collect a pension
Because
after
they
this
were
time?
probably so close to retirement, and I'm sure
Not fair.
the union got involved. This is what
Oh,
I'm
the union
saved
definitely
their
is
butt.
involved,
Yeah,
and they're
I
fighting
feel
the
like
whole thing.
the union saved their butts. But the other thing I'm thinking is, were they dealing drugs out of the
I
firehouse?
thought, I thought drugs too. They need to start
It
dropping
could be
some games.
anything. It could be
It could
anything.
be anything, and that's the thing is you're gonna think of like the worst possibilities. So, and is that a reason why they're holding back? So we're thinking, oh, were there any children involved? Was this like an aggression against the minor, or who knows? Because we know how like those state cops in Mass, how they had that prostitution ring going on amongst them. So
Yeah.
it could be anything. And then what are you going to come back a month later after people have like kind of forgotten and then drop some lame like, oh, it's because if it's just financial, like they were stealing money or stealing monies from like that it doesn't match up with what the city attorney is saying because he's basically saying this is the most atrocious. And stealing money is up there as being bad, especially if it's city money, but atrocious?
No,
I
I mean
think
stealing money from the victims. You know what I mean? Like stealing from
yeah,
the victims.
then it would be up there, right? But I was thinking
Yeah.
like because until you said the victims, was not on my radar. My thing was okay. They're still stealing city funds some type of way, whatever. Maybe through like when you know how the firefighters all the time they out there with the boots in the spring and in the fall. Maybe
Just
charity
take a
money.
little off the top.
Exactly. That's where my mind went. But when you throw out the word atrocious, the most atrocious you've ever seen in the entire time as a city attorney, that to me, that has to be something huge. And I feel not saying anything is a disservice to the people of Pawtucket and the
Maybe we
people of
should let's call their office and ask them,
I'm
what was
Jim
the
12.
thing? What was the thing that happened? Just ask the receptionist, like, what was the thing that was so
Hmm.
atrocious?
Hmm.
We,
I'm pretty sure every news station is doing that. So
we're press, so we want to know.
hmm. Hmm.
We're
we
women
are
in media. We
we
were
are
on a
two-time
panel
award winner Motif
2 times, okay,
podcasters, and we need to
two
know.
times.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
found this
gosh,
story to be like very interesting.
that's interesting.
The
Yes.
other story is kind of just like playing out there, and it's very disgusting. So this week, kids were on vacation.
Hmm.
So you have what? A 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and two 15-year-olds at the Warwick Apple Cinema Theater, the 11 o'clock show, I believe. Anyway,
PM.
they were talking PM. That's why I said it's school vacation. I don't know what parent is dropping their kids off for an 11 o'clock at they're 14, but you.
Because here's to put this in perspective. This is in Warwick, Rhode Island, which
Mhm.
is a suburban area. This movie theater is not like, oh, centrally located. You have to get a ride there. Even if
Yeah,
you
the
walk,
bus
you have to
line.
cross.
They
You
do
have to
have a
cross.
bus line, but not that
Right,
late. Hmm.
right. You either have to take a bus, but then again, I forgot these folks got Uber. I forgot when I was a teenager, I had to get drugs. These people got Uber accounts and everything when
This
they're
is
like
true.
five,
This
so
is true.
they probably
So
Ubered there.
anyway, they were in the theater, and I believe they were watching because they didn't say in the show, but I noticed that this last week in the week there have been a lot of complaints about teenagers going to see Minecraft. So my
I
grandson wants
figured
to.
it was Minecraft. Yeah,
Oh, you did? So,
yeah.
a lot of problems with kids acting up, and I will say specifically in suburban theaters. So
Mm.
you can guess. So a lot of kids acting up in it. So anyway, they were in the theater talking loud, being, ugly, cursing and everything. And Two adults told them to shh, be quiet. They took offense. They chased them to their car. So at 11:49 the police were called. They chased them to their car and stabbed two of them. Kids, 16, 15, and two 14-year-olds.
Stabbed two grown people.
Two grown people. And the police were called. So they non-life threatening, non-life threatening stab wounds, of course, but just the idea that you were in the theater, and this is a tale that's been going on for like many many years, but you don't hear about it often anymore. There's very rarely that you hear about like fighting in a movie theater. That's kind of, you
Mhm.
don't hear that often. But if an adult tells you you're in a movie theater and they're asking you to be quiet because you were just being that obnoxious, and then you're bold enough to be like, you know what, I'm going to follow these people to their car, harass them, and then stab them.
Look here, not trying to confront these new people. Okay,
Me,
that's
that's
rule number
prejudice.
one. This is
Mm-hmm.
not our generation. Okay, this is a
Mm-hmm.
whole. These are some new ass people with a whole new set of standards, beliefs, mores. They're different. Ain't no way. If I don't know your parents, I ain't shushing you. Okay, I
I
rather
am going to the front and
gather
get
myself, go
somebody
to the manager,
and tell them to come and
turn
you got to handle
turn
this.
Karen. I'm gonna turn
Mhm.
Karen real quick on you, Black Karen. Shout outs to Raina Martin, who's the original Black Karen. If you know, you know. That's Robbie's sister, Raina.
Um,
Um, but I'm not talking to nobody's child, no teenager that I
and I
don't
know
know.
they probably thought just saying shh would not be will gather the kind of response that they got.
No, no. And I'm sorry, but these people sound like they were non-melanated that were asking these kids to be quiet because ain't no ain't no way. I'm not talking to these people. I'd rather leave and watch
Mhm.
it on when it comes on Hulu. Because
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not doing that.
everybody was compensated for the movie where they could come
Mm-mm,
back and watch it again because
mm-mm.
obviously it turned out into a big thing.
And I'm not justifying the behavior of these young people. First of all,
No,
it
you
wouldn't be
can't.
my kids. It would not be my kids. Let me start by saying that because number one, I'm not bringing you, like you said, to the 11 o'clock show. I don't care if it's school break or not. You ain't going to no 11 o'clock show unless I'm with you.
Unless I'm staying, but not
That's
by
number
yourself with your
one.
friends because that is when things pop off the most when you with your raggedy ass friends.
You had all day. Shows start at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. You going to the no. That's number one. That's number
Hmm.
one. You weren't going to that late ass show. Um that's number one. Number two, if an adult shush you and you don't like it, my kids know not to chase somebody down and stab them. Like my kids
Well,
might
like you said, this is a new level. I mean, and I know they were going back and forth and arguing. I don't know if like for all we know, the grown-ups, they could have been in their early 20s. They haven't said like, much on other than that they were injured and it was not non-life threatening injury. So we don't know the ages, but they could have been close enough to that
yeah,
age.
maybe they were like in their 20 because I'm not going back and forth with these little children.
Mm-mm. But somebody in their 20s would.
But
Some.
here's my thing, because I don't
Mhm.
know why it's funny to me that they chased them to their car. Like that's a little
It's
bit
wild. That is fucking
because
wild.
the movie started at 11,
Well,
11:49. They're not even well into the plot. So
no.
you didn't even get to the meat of the movie and you're
Mm-mm.
running to your
The
car.
police are already called. The police are already responding.
Not worth
So,
it. Not worth
mm,
it. And I
mm-mm.
know the movies are expensive. I know you paid your coin, and the Apple Theater is like the luxury. It's supposed to be a luxury experience
Yeah, it's
because
a
it's
nice
like
theater.
the recliner seats, right? A dine-in experience
Mhm.
on some of the theaters. Yeah, no, mm-mm. No, I'm
But
not
go
about to
on
fight with
Tuesday
people.
because Tuesdays is $5. That's all I'm saying. That's
I don't
my
know if
day.
I want to go there now. I might just go to Providence Place where I feel safe.
Ooh, do you?
Yes.
Providence Place, I do
There's
not
never
like.
anyone in the theater when I go in there.
This is true. This is true. I've never
It'll
had
be
a problem.
empty.
Let me not talk down on Providence Place. I've never ever had a problem when I'm there. I just feel like what was it? I went there and I went to go get a soda. And I know most places are like insane prices, but when you charging $18 for a Coke, not $18, I'm sorry, $8 for a Coke that's in a bottle, I told Darius, you better drink your spit, sir. That's because that's not gonna.
Listen, my mother, this is what Glendora used to do. She would have
Mhm.
her baby Ruths in her purse. If you, whatever you was eating or drinking was in that bag.
Me
My
too.
mother
That's
wasn't
that.
going to that scene. Don't ask for no popcorn because you're not getting it. You
Mhm.
better watch this movie because that's about it.
That's what Five Below is for. That's what the dollar store is for. That's what Dollar General is for. You
You
always
better
make those
smuggle
stops.
them
Make
snacks
those
in.
stops before you go to the movie theater. Although I will say, I'm always going to get the popcorn.
Popcorn.
Don't know
And
why.
too much
I
of that
love
oil butter.
I just love it. I just love it. But you know what? I have a butter spray that I got from
Hmm.
one of the it was
Will you
Walmart.
bring it with you?
Girl, it's like a life changer. Like I think it's like the calories on it is low, but it has that buttery taste that I want when I go to the movie
Okay. Is it
theater.
the Orville Redenbacher one?
Nope, not theirs. Theirs is trash.
Okay.
I-
Let's flesh this conversation out because the listeners need to know what they need to be smuggling into the theater. Go ahead, continue.
it's a spray. It's in a red bottle. I gotta get the
Is
name
it
of
the
it.
striped one? Is it like stripes? Like
It's
I,
not striped. Let me keep naming some.
you're gonna have to post it because we need to. I need to know because I do like the movie theater popcorn. It's a little salty for me. These are so. I usually
Mhm,
tell them like, if you could give me a non-salted one, I love that.
mhm.
Because I like the home style pop secret. Like that's my jam at home when I do
See,
microwave
at
popcorn.
home, I'm always doing the what do you call it?
The one on the stove?
Yeah, I always do the
Oh,
home
you
cooked
go
one.
old school.
I do go old school.
Oh, I don't know
But
this
it's
one.
good. Yeah, it's delicious.
Winona. Okay.
Yeah, I
That
didn't know.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's all well because I buy the kernels. So
Mm,
it's always there with the kernels and I love it. It's delicious. Sprayed on there. Shake up the bag.
that's the old
Spray
school
it some
thing.
more.
Put it on the
Shake up the bag.
stove and it's just like pops up. I used to beg my mother to buy that and she never bought it not one time. I
With the
think I had
jiffy one.
yeah.
I promise you, my old ass age, I have never had Jiffy popcorn because my mother wouldn't buy it either because she was on the stove popping it. And then as I got older, I was just like, okay. And then microwave popcorn came out, so then I went with that one. But
Yeah.
I don't even mess with microwave popcorn anymore. I
It's
haven't had it in
probably
years.
not good for you, but
Mm-mm.
and I used to really like it. Like just so here's my secret with the microwave popcorn. My favorite one is the Pop Secret home style. Pop it, right? And you
That's the one I used
don't
to love too.
and you I put press the popcorn button on my microwave. I press it 2 times, so I think it's like 2.5. Soon as it comes out, I get red pepper flakes, the dried ones, put it in the bag, shake it
So
up.
fancy. So fancy.
So simple, so delicious. So
So
good.
red pepper
The
flakes?
dried red pepper flakes, like the ones
Yeah.
you buy in
To
the
make it
seasoning.
hot popcorn? Okay. Okay.
Delicious.
I have that.
Delicious.
And see, my thing with popcorn, just a salt person. I like a little sea salt on it. I don't like a lot other than the butter spray is only for like certain things. So, if I'm saying, "Oh, let's do a movie night," then I might,
Mhm.
have it. But cuz I eat popcorn probably maybe 3 4 times a week. And it's usually just in the bag, shaken up, my little plastic bag. It's just salt and it's good. It is delicious. That's all I need for it.
So my other trick is I have all this Pampered Chef stuff from when I was selling Pampered Chef. So of
Mm-hmm.
course I got all this stuff. They have these stainless steel bowls that have these plastic lids that like they're the
Mm-hmm.
best thing you will ever buy. Like if you buy anything from Pampered Chef, and shout outs to Leah, our book club sister. Leah is a Pampered Chef consultant. I actually brought her into that pyramid scheme and she's still in it. So but it's the best pyramid, it's the best pyramid scheme you'll ever be in
Okay.
or
Okay.
buy from. But they have these stainless steel bowls and it's like nesting. So there's like large,
Oh yeah,
medium,
I love
small.
nesting bowl.
Get the small one, put
Mm-hmm.
it in there. It keeps the popcorn hot
Mm-hmm.
while you're watching your movie. Because you know, if you leave it in the bag or you put it in a regular bowl,
Mm-hmm.
eventually it starts like getting room temperature and the butter's kind of like getting a little grainy. Stainless steel bowl, red pepper flakes, game changer. I used to eat popcorn regularly too, and I stopped when I broke my damn tooth and had to go to Dr. Lesh and get a freaking crown because my teeth are 50 years old.
Well, that might be where the crack came in mine because remember I said I had a crack in my tooth and I don't know how that happened, and I was blaming it on
Popcorn
candy,
seeds,
but it could have been the popcorn. It
popcorn
could.
seeds. I got some popcorn from Ocean State Job Lot. Never again, because that was the one trying to save some money. I paid like $2 for a bag of popcorn and spent like $100 on a new damn tooth. I was so
And a
mad.
big crack tooth. Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah, those are my two crazy Rhode Island stories, which is just wild. The only one I'm going to be checking, well, I do want to know about these damn kids
I want to
because
know what these firefighters did. I'm
that's what I
nosy
want.
now.
But
I
I
really
feel
want.
like Rhode Island does this a lot. They will drop a story and then you'll go back and there's so many questions to it. And then you go back like, you
No
3 4
follow up.
months later, there's really no follow-up. And that I feel like this is gonna be one of those stories where you're gonna have to go really searching for it and probably go into public records because I don't know if Channel 10 and Channel 12 will follow up with the info.
You know Rhode Island's corrupt, girl.
Atrocious, the most atrocious. Come on.
But
What
so
did they do?
that's the other thing I'm thinking of. I'm like, was it atrocious or are you just being extra? That's
Could
another
you
part
be
of it.
being like seriously hyperbolic? I mean, but when you say that's what I'm saying, like then tell us what it was. Don't have people sitting up here guessing and then like next month it come out it was, they were skimming money off the top of a charity
Right.
event or something
Out
like that.
the what do you call it? What are them little things called? Salvation. Y'all took some out the Salvation Army
But
race
what you said about
bucket.
stealing from victims' homes, I don't know. That it's a disgusting
Because
that I was
think about it.
let's take bets on it.
So, but think about it, right? Okay, so they come to the fire. The fire, they get everybody out. They got to hold it down. They probably got to go back and inspect the place for the insurance fraud,
And
right?
they do. They're
So you go
alone.
back in there. Then, okay, my mind is going very dark right now. Let's say somebody passes away in the fire.
Oh
Then you go
damn.
back and get their documents. You maybe do a little bit of identity fraud. I'm just saying it would make a great show. It made a great show, Orange is the New Black. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot, and that's disgusting. That's
Mm,
terrible. That's a terrible thing to do. You
that would
know,
be atrocious.
yeah, that would be atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe
Wow.
they felt, they weren't getting paid enough, and they were like, "Look, we gotta make a little side hustle." I feel like a lot of uh, some, and it was a group of them, so it was a ring. Let's just call it what it is. It was organized crime.
It
It was a
was.
ring of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what they did.
Mm.
I hope no children were or people were
Yeah, I hope no
harmed. I hope
children
it's
were
I hope it's
involved.
a
I
white
hope,
collar crime,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And I hope there are no like sex abuse at any age, with
Yeah.
any women or, so and again, we don't know if these were all men, it
Yeah.
could be
Right.
women involved. It's just too many questions and you just don't report a story, in my opinion, with that many damn open-ended questions.
Right.
At least say what the crime was, and then we'll deal with, I don't know, maybe.
Did they show the pictures?
Hell no, they did not.
I want to know who they were. What were the names, girl?
Hmm. They did not.
I
But it
want
was
to know
crazy.
the names.
They didn't list the names, but what's crazy is that they said they interviewed a neighbor who was astonished. So they do have a name, and you interviewed a neighbor. Maybe if I knew more people in
Because I'm
Pawtucket.
telling you, they probably were going and getting car keys and stealing Benzes or who. I mean, there's so many things that they could have done. So maybe a neighbor saw them going back to the house,
Mm-mm.
doing some shade. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
yeah.
if it's a perfectly good BMW sitting there and the key, you're like, they don't need it now. I don't know. I'm just saying. My mind
You
just
know.
went dark. You know, I always
Mm-hmm.
start writing scripts in my head when I hear
Mm-hmm.
certain stories, and this is one of those instances where I'm just
Sure,
like,
write
oh,
it up.
how would I write this movie? Right, exactly.
Write it up. Because that is, yeah, I didn't even think about that. But to me, that would probably be up there. What one of the most atrocious things you could do is like
That's
stealing
disgusting. If
from the
you
victim.
double down on the victimization. These people have already, they're victims, and then you
Hmm.
further victimize them. That's pretty atrocious, especially if you're in a role where you're supposed to be protecting and serving, like firefighter, police department, any other type of civil servant role where you use people's vulnerability against them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Before we stop, and I know, and the only reason I'm saying it as late as it is in this conversation is because I don't want to dwell too much on it. But the way these ICE officers are behaving is
ridiculous.
atrocious. It's like, honestly, slave catching 2025. It's like Nazi Germany 1932. You just can't just grab people off the, well, in America, you're not supposed to be able to just grab people off the street and then
Hmm.
drag them somewhere with no due process, anything, throw them on the
No
plane.
attorney, no
No,
Miranda. I don't hear anyone reading Miranda because they're not
breaking
technically
windows, just
arrested. Right. Terrorizing people.
terrorizing people. And then the thing is that's killing me about the stupidity. Oh, what's on my pen today? This pen says, elect a clown, expect a circus. You can't really see it.
Mm.
But the thing that kills me is for years this man is talking about illegal aliens and immigrants and they don't pay taxes. How come you always picking them up at work?
This is the same person who
People don't
already
contribute.
gave you a Muslim ban. Don't lest
Trying
we
not to
forget.
start another one.
Lest
Mm-hmm.
we forget, gave us a Muslim ban his first term. But what is interesting to me is the people who are now making these viral videos about, oh, we thought things were going to be different, but it happened to me. I thought it
Mm,
couldn't happen to me. There was a gentleman, and I don't remember what country he's originally from, or his family originates from. He may be have a born US citizen, but he's clearly of foreign descent, and he's maybe Syrian, or that's what he was like appearing to me. So he
mhm,
drove to Canada with his family for whatever, a family celebration. This
mhm,
man is an immigration attorney himself, I believe. Drove to Canada, no problems going. Coming
mhm,
back, he was asked to exit his vehicle at gunpoint. Wouldn't answer any questions when he was asking them, why are you doing this? Telling them he's an American citizen, telling them he's an immigration lawyer. And on top of that, they wanted to go through his phone. He
mhm.
denied them the opportunity to go through his phone the first time. And according to him, was forced to write a statement saying that they could go through his phone under duress. And he had a
Yeah.
nerve to fix his mouth and say, I thought things were going to be different under Donald Trump as president. So you voted for this fool, the clown,
An
as you said,
immigration lawyer?
an
I didn't
immigration
realize
lawyer.
you voted for him.
Yes. So this
Elect
is,
the clown, expect the.
but in you hate to be petty in these moments because this is a
Mm,
time where people should be
mm.
banding together, but this is what happens when you buy into the racial construct of whiteness and believe that that applies to anyone who's not darkly melanated. So you think that because you're fairly
Immigration.
melanated, that you're part of the boys club. You're being taught and you're being shown that is not the case.
That is.
And I don't feel sorry
I
for
know.
you.
I saw the story. I did not see. Well, I saw the headline for the story. I read a couple of, small clips on it or whatever, but I did not get to the part where he said that. But
And
he's not the only one. Just like the farmers, the guys like I lost. He's losing over $150,000 a year due to tariffs. He voted for Trump 3 times. The first time he was in office, you all lost buku money then, and then you had to get a. They had to give you guys money and welfare money. Those farmers
mhm,
were getting welfare money,
exactly.
socialist money at that time. So did you think it was going to be different when he was seeing the same things over and over again? People just don't believe that's the difference between a black woman and the rest of the fucking world, because I don't need to hurt to have empathy for you.
So one more like point about this immigration lawyer, and I'm using
Mhm.
air quotes. He is an immigration lawyer, but the
Yeah, but
reason I'm using the air quotes is because you're supposed to be helping people who
Mhm.
are having these kinds of problems, and now you're becoming the victim just because of your name, because that in your
And your
accent or
skin color, because your color is not white enough.
whatever ticked them off. But here's the kicker. Even if
Mhm.
you don't care about this man, even if you don't care about any of that, care about this. He denied them going through his phone because he's an immigration attorney and because there was privileged client information on his phone. That's when they forced him to write the note saying that they could go through his phone. So not only was his information compromised, the
Mm,
information of clients whose personal privileged information is on his phone is
mhm,
now with your American government. So that could be your Italian cousin who was trying to come over to the United States. It could be your Salvadoran grandmother who was doing her paperwork to become a citizen. Whoever this man was helping, whoever he was talking to, that information is now with the United States government for them to use and weaponize against whoever
mm,
they want to.
mm, mm. Those people, I don't know how they look themselves in the face, in the
But
mirror
but he
every
still was
day.
he was incredulous. He couldn't believe it was happening to him. I was like, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Boots
Wow,
on the ground.
is that's something. That's something, and that's what we doing now. I don't know how to do the fan yet.
I don't
I know
either. I don't.
it's
I'm
now.
never gonna get the choreography. I cannot dance like that. Like
Yeah,
anything that's
the only
structured,
one.
I
I
can do the electric slide, but once you
barely
start getting a little crazier than that, it's too much for me. I can't
did
do
it. I can do what? 3 steps. Three. That's
Oh,
it.
that's better than a two step.
Yeah, I can do one more than the 2 step. Three is it. That's my limit. And then after that, then I start like, how when sometimes they say like, do when they be like, do white people hear a different song? I do. I don't know what I start hearing
It's the
in the
one
middle
in
of
the
the song that's playing. I'm hearing a different one, and I'm dancing to that tune.
so you know what you need to do? Just go to silent discos. The ones that Robbie and Dane have, just do the
Uh,
silent disco. Then you're no one knows what's happening
no
in
one
your head.
knows. Okay, because yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I dance like
I have
Madonna.
rhythm. I just have a hard time with structured
Yeah,
choreography. I struggle very badly
I
with
have
subject
rhythm, but
variety.
in the middle of the rhythm, I lose it for like it's like a tick. It's like I'm on it, and then
You
it's
start
just
doing
like,
Elaine
what
and Seinfeld
happened? And then I'm back. And then I'm back. But it takes me, I don't know what happens for those 3.5 seconds, but I lose it. So
too funny.
anyway. Anyway, so great show, great co-host. Again, I appreciate
Yes, thank
being
you. I
a co-host
blessed
on
to have
fabulous
the
show.
best co-host a podcaster could ask for. I
Right?
think that's part of it. That makes it even sweeter is that we just have we vibe. You know what I'm saying? We just have like organic energy as co-hosts, and
You would never know that we don't even like each other outside this podcast.
you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. She's Monica, I'm Brandy. The boy is mine.
Uh, that's funny. But so have a great week.
Have a
What else?
wonderful week.
Anything happening this week? Because this will be airing on Monday.
Let me refer to my calendar. Let's see.
Yeah. Let's do a quick shout out for anything happening this week. I don't,
I got nothing.
yeah, yeah, I don't,
Other
other than
other than
like,
Shamari's event on the
yeah.
27th, I got
And
nothing.
of
Mm,
course, the Tempest in Spanish. How do you
La
say it?
tempestad.
La Tempestad?
La tempestad.
La Tempestad. Okay. La Tempestad. See, and I had to do that because that's what you did. See, I
Oh, I was trying to snap my fingers, but I don't have the snap.
La Tempestad. Go see it. It's
Go
until
see it.
April 27th.
Yes.
Until next time, have a great week and enjoy it because hopefully it's warm this week because it's
Yes.
warm
And
today the day we're taping.
if there's anything that does come up, you know where to find us.
Yes, reach out. Let us know.
We're
We'll
on
talk about it.
Instagram at Little State Big Voices. We are on YouTube at Little State Big Voices. We are on Facebook as well by the same name, but Shahida, where will you not find us?
Motherfucking TikTok. Still mad at them. Not
Still
going,
mad
not
and definitely not
mad at
on
them just like
not on
Target.
X. We not on X.
Oh no,
So
absolutely never. Absolutely never. So, but also too, you got to catch us on iHeartRadio.
yes,
I just
iHeartRadio.
noticed this week that we had an uptick and downloads on iHeartRadio, and we never say we're on our iHeartRadio
And Apple Podcasts.
and Apple
Let's
Podcast,
go.
Spotify, of course. So on
Spotify.
all the Spotify channels except for TikTok. Oh,
I'm
no.
wearing my green and black for Spotify.
Okay, okay. Well, until then, have a great week, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
We're here with Rudy, aka Sebastian, from Tempest. I'm behind the camera this time, but up here. So we just saw a bilingual rendition of Shakespeare's Tempest. And I mean, there was some Easter eggs in there. I'm not going to give too much of it away. It was amazing, but give us 3 words about this production. Give me 3 words about this production.
First and foremost, fun, interactive, and groundbreaking. I'm gonna say that because there have been some people whatever that haven't been happy with it, but that's because when you do Shakespeare, there's gonna be always that group of people whatever they're like, oh, you don't need to redo it, not even knowing that like when they did Shakespeare back in the day, there was no women playing it. It was all men playing the women roles. And people were standing outside, soiling themselves. Prostitutes were having sex with people in the back. That was how it was when you went to go see a Shakespeare play back in the Shakespeare days. So unless y'all wanted to go all the way back like that, I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, revolution is a bumpy road. You know what I'm saying? Some people not going to get it right now, but they're going to get it later. You know what I'm saying?
You heard it from the man himself. I know I laughed. I felt heartwarming moments, and I want to see it again. I think it's actually be really great for people of all ages. It's not just for grown-ups. We sat next to a teenager who was loving it the entire show. So.
The youth have been enjoying it more than the grown-ups, to be honest.
And you're here till April 27th?
Yeah, till April 27th.
Where are we?
right here at Trinity Rep in downtown Providence, Rhode Island. So